We're on our way to Wasco right now. Do not mind our crying child. It's time for a nap. We did stop by and we got drinks at the little boba shop. I like the little boba shop. They're really nice and friendly, so you guys can stop by and check their Instagram for their cool drinks that they have. All the time. But anyways, yes, me and Eliseo got married really young, which I guess is kind of a good and a bad, but
Tired of
I'm tired of him already. And yeah, so we were young and working a lot. I was working at McDonald's at the time, and he was working at Little Caesars in Delano, and then at the time he had started working at the Bakersfield one too, and he was going to school, and Saturday and Sunday he would pick Mandarin with his mom. So that was really hard. We both shared one car and one cell phone for a year, and we saved all of our money all the time. We never went anywhere, we never went out for dinner, we never went out to buy stuff. We would just save all of our money, every single dollar that we had, which wasn't a lot. It was like $10 that we had left over every 2 weeks, because we were so broke all the time. So after, we still are. And after the first year, we were there and we talked about, like, you know, we obviously I wanted to get married like by church. Well, not really even like by church, but just like have a better wedding than what we had, because we got married in Vegas. So I wanted to have something nicer, and we had originally started saving the money for the wedding. And then one day Eliseo comes home and he was like, hey, you know what, like my cousin, he just got a house, which his cousin's a few years older than him. So we were like, well, if his cousin bought a house, like, and he's only a few years older than Eliseo, like, why shouldn't we be able to buy a house, you know? And then Eliseo was like, yeah, like we should look into it, you know, or at least see where we need to be so that we could get a house. And because I had told him, like, you know, like we were living with his mom, which was fine, but I was pregnant at the time, and I was like, eventually we're gonna have kids, and like, you know, we can't live with your mom forever. Like, she already had a lot on her plate, so I was like, well, we need to get our own place. And he was like, yeah, well, you're right. And we had already looked into, because his mom had a house, and she had a house like next door, like that was her house too, and a back house, and we had already looked into moving into that back house. But then I told him, like, maybe we should just keep saving our money and buy a house of our own, like that way your mom could rent out that house and have her own money for it, you know? And he was like, yeah, like, sure, you know, let's look into it. We started looking into it, and we got in contact with Helen, but you guys can find her on Facebook. She's my Facebook friend. She's her name is Helen Villarreal. She's from the Porterville area. We got in contact with her, and she was like, you know what, definitely you guys are young, but it's not impossible. So I was 17 still. I was gonna be 18 until the following year in May, and Eliseo, this was December, and Eliseo was 19? Yeah, 18. Yeah, he was gonna be 19 in August. Okay, so I was 17, he was 18. He was gonna be 19 in August, and I was gonna be 18 in May. And so we were there, and well, you know, we started looking into it, and then she told us, like, pretty much it's not impossible. Like, I mean, Eliseo doesn't have bad credit, he actually has great credit. And you know, like, all you guys are gonna need is like this much money for a down payment, and you know, pretty much started guiding us through the whole process to like be on the right foot to get the house. So we were like, okay, it doesn't seem that hard, so let's try it. So in December we kind of started doing all the paperwork. By January, like, we felt like it wasn't moving nowhere, and Eliseo was like, maybe we should just stop, maybe we should just start renting the back house or look for another apartment, because it's like, what if we, like, it doesn't work out for us and we lose the apartment? And then Alexis was going to be born in March, so we were like, what's going to happen, you know? So he kind of started getting frustrated with it already because he has no patience. And I was just kind of like, no, let's at least try for a few more months to see if it'll work. So we kept just pushing the paperwork. We started doing all the paperwork, and then the money came, and she was like, okay, well, you guys need this much money because obviously you guys are so young. It's not impossible, but you guys are young, and the work history is not 100% established. So let's see. So I was like, okay. So she kind of gave us an estimate of what we needed, which we still needed a lot because we hadn't even saved that much. And that's where my mother-in-law and one of Eliso's cousins came in. They finished letting us borrow the money so we could complete the down payment to even get the house. She did tell us too, because at the time we had only qualified for like 120,000. Was that like the max?
150.
150. So we didn't really have that many options house-wise either. And a lot of you guys know where I live because I denounced from home for a lot of years. So a lot of you guys have seen my home. And to me, it's like I had told Elisa, like I don't really care what the house looks like. I just want to have a place for my kids. Like I want to have a place that's ours. You know, and then everything else, like in the future we could get a better house. In the future we could fix our house. In the future we could do something else. But what mattered to me was having the house. So we started looking late January, almost February. That's when we finally got approved for 150, and we started looking. We didn't really have a lot of options. We did see one house that was the 150, but we started talking about it, and we're like, okay, like the payment's gonna be so high. Why are we gonna, you know, have a house worth all the 150? Let's just try to look for something more in like the 100 range, and like that we could afford it comfortably. Like if Eliso ever loses his job, like we could still pay for it, having, you know, working at McDonald's or, you know, whatever. We were just like, we were thinking long term versus short term, because at the time we were like super broke. So we literally would make $700 every 2 weeks. Well, Elisa would make $700 every 2 weeks, and we had to survive off that. And we had to pay for our car, we had to pay for all of our bills, and then any money that I would make for nails was just extra, which I mean, at the time I wasn't doing a lot of nails because I had just started taking clients. So a week I would make like $60-$70 because I would charge like $10-$15 anything you wanted, and I would see like 6-7 girls a week. So it wasn't that much. Sometimes like my clients would give me like a whole $20 bill because they'd tip me $10 because they felt bad for me that I was doing $10 nails, I guess. I don't know. So we just kind of started working towards focusing on getting the house, which I feel like is very important. And so like my best advice to like get a house super young is, one, make sure that you get the right information, go with the right person, and have them like run your credit, see how much money you make, see how much you could afford. And definitely, even though you don't qualify for a house on the spot, but at least you'll have an idea, like, okay, I don't qualify for a house today, but maybe if I work on this for 6 months, in 6 months I could get a house. So you might be 18, but if they tell you, okay, you have to do this, this, and this, and in 6 months we could pre-qualify you, then you'll still be 18 and a half. So I mean, it's not a big thing to where it's impossible to get a house at a young age. And I feel like sometimes a lot of people, like I still remember the feeling when we first moved into our house and people coming over to see if we wanted to buy like a Kirby, alarm, stuff like that. And they would knock on the door, and we would open, and they'd be like, hi, you know, what time are your parents gonna come home? And we're like, we don't live with our parents. And they're like, who do you guys live with? And then we're like, by ourselves. And they're like, oh, okay, well, can we get the numbers to the owner of the house? And we're like, oh, we are the owners of the house. And they would like not believe us. They'd be like, okay, no, we're really serious, where's your mom? And we'd be like, yeah, we don't live with our parents. So it was kind of like, it was challenging trying to put everything together for the house, and definitely not having that much money to pay for the house itself. So that's why we opted for getting a smaller house, and that's why we got a 3-bedroom, 1 restroom, which wasn't very, at the time, I'm like, I don't know what I was thinking. I should have gotten a house with at least 2 restrooms. But I was like, hey, it was only me and him. Like, we didn't have any kids yet. So I was just like, yeah, 1 restroom, that's fine. Now I'm like, shit, we need like 5 restrooms. But, you know, it's stuff that could be worked on in the future. Now, sometimes we still kind of look at newer houses and I think about moving, but then I get scared and I'm like, no, I like where I live. But yeah, so definitely step 1 would be talking to a realtor, having them run your credit, having you already establish good work history. You know, both of us started working. I started working since I was 15, and then how old were you when you started working?
Fields, I started working when I was 14 during the summers or in the evenings. And then my first job was at 17 and I started working in
Yeah, see, so Chris started working since he was 14. I started working since I was 15. So definitely, I mean, that already put us in the advantage because we started working so young. So we kind of already at least had an idea of what we were trying to do. But yeah, we definitely made the house a priority. It wasn't really practical for us to like just have 1 car or have 1 cell phone. Like literally sometimes like if Elisa would go to work, like he'd take the cell phone and then I was on the house phone. So
I couldn't give my number to the girls.
yeah, he couldn't give his number to the girls anymore. I guess that's why he has stayed faithful when we were 17, 18, 19 because he couldn't give his number to the girls because we both shared 1 phone. And yeah, and then like for nail pictures and stuff, like I couldn't even take pictures because I didn't have a phone. Like I think I ended up, or I don't know, I think my mom bought me a camera actually so that I could take pictures of my nail pictures, like a little silver one, and then I would just upload them to my computer, like because that's the only way I had. Like we didn't have another phone, we had 1 phone, and everybody would be like, you guys only have 1 phone? And we're like, yeah, we're trying to buy a house, like we ain't trying to. They'd be like, you guys want to come out to eat? And we're like, nah, we can't eat, we're trying to buy a house. So for everything, and just literally and in general our whole life, like we've always limited ourselves so that we could buy stuff that we want. Or so we, both of us have always been the type of person, like we want to go on this vacation, all right, we're doing whatever it takes, but we're going. Like, and I feel like that attitude has always taken us far because we won't be like, oh no, forget our vacation, forget our, you know, no, we'll be like, okay, we want to go on vacation, what do we got to do to get there? Like, we want to buy a house, okay, what do we have to do to buy a house? Like, what are the steps that we're going to take? How much money do we need? So second, definitely be a little smart with your money. Like, think about the benefits that it'll give you in the long run. So if you want to buy a house at a young age, think about the benefits of the future. You know, my sister, she got her house when she was, what, 22? And then also, too, like my sister-in-law, my brother-in-law, Caesar, my sister-in-law was about 23, 24, too, when she bought her house. And now it's like we don't really worry about that. Like, to me, it's like, yeah, my house is small. It might not be the greatest house in the world, but I could always buy another house in the future, maybe not now. And I always think about it like, my kids are getting older very fast. What if me and Elisa buy this gigantic house in a few years, they leave the house, and then what are we gonna do with the giant house? So sometimes I just think about continue to like just do little remodels to my house. Like we are happy there. I am comfortable there. You know, so maybe just do some additions in the future, like maybe get like a pool or something, just like remodel the kitchen. That's one of the things that I want to do, and still keep our low house payment for the same thing, because we've always been the type of people, and like Elisa always tells me, he's usually pretty strict with me about that. Like, he doesn't really like for us to have like credit cards or stuff like that, because he's like, if we have to put it on credit, then we can't afford it. And I'm like, okay. So he's always been a person like, okay, like it's either we have the money for it, we're gonna get it, or we don't have the money at all, we're not gonna get it. So I feel like it's always kept me straight, so that I won't spend my money on dumb shit, because before I was always a person, like if I had $20, I had to spend 25. And he would always get mad at me about that. He's like, you can't spend every single dollar you make, like you have to think about other things too. And I'm like, okay. So we started like just working on that since we were really young, and yeah, that's how we were able to pretty much buy a house at 17. We got our shit together, we started working, saving all of our money, got the right real estate agent, applied, got accepted, got approved. We went out, we looked for houses. I'll put a picture of my house, that way you guys could see it. It's not the greatest house, but you know, it's ours, and we've had it for a long time, and it's gotten us out of some very, well, not bad situations, I want to say, but it's always came through for us. And I love it, and it has also helped other people when they've needed a home. So I'm very happy and thankful that we were able to get our house so young, and I'm definitely thankful that Eliseo has always showed me money management to how he knows it, because if not, we'd be broke living in an apartment, not ever seeing our money's worth for things that we do, or how he said we're still broke, but you know, but at least now it's like we're broke, but you know, we're not worried about paying our bills. Like, our bills get paid, and hey, if we have money to do our stuff, we have it, and if we don't, good too, you know. But at least like it keeps us cool. So yeah, so I mean, if you guys ever need any advice, or you guys want me to refer you guys to a realtor, Helen, we got it on Facebook. She's really good, but I also have other friends that work in the business. Like, I know Jesus Barraza, he's helped a ton of my clients. He's my really good friend. Well, he's our really good friend, and he's amazing. Like, he will tell you things how they are. He will not sugarcoat things for you. He'll tell you this is what you need to work on, and we're gonna get you into your house. So he has really truly helped a lot of my clients. And I'm very thankful for him and Priscilla's friendship. They're really good people, and I'll link him below too, if you guys ever want to check him out. Both of them are really, really good realtors. So maybe you guys might want to start by giving them a call and seeing where you're at and seeing where you can work on, so that you too could buy a house at 17, 18 like we did. So and the cool thing about all of this is that the day we received the keys to the house, when they called us, that they said, you guys can move in, let's meet up tomorrow, and we're gonna give you the keys to the house, you guys can move into your house tomorrow. I remember I sat there and I cried, and when Eliseo told me, like, we're gonna get our keys tomorrow, it was one of the happiest days of my life. I could honestly tell you guys that. And that happened May 14, 2009. The next day was my 18th birthday. So the day we received the keys to our house was my 18th birthday. So it was definitely an 18th birthday to remember. And I'm always going to be thankful for that we were able just to get our house so young and put foot on the right track. So yeah, well, that's all for today. As you guys can see, Harley's falling asleep in the back. She's already asleep. And she does sleep with her mouth open like her dad. So yeah, but
Daddy snores and our little cousin Julian snores.
yeah.
Today he slept over, and in the morning we heard him snoring.
Oh yeah, he was snoring, poor Julian. He was tired. Well, you guys stayed up late.
Huh?
You guys stayed up late.
His voice was all low like this.
Andy wanted to watch another movie. I like, Mom already said after this movie we have to go to bed.
Yes, and then she still woke up early to watch TV. But yeah, but anyways, guys, don't forget to subscribe and
Hit the notifications bell.
Yes, hit the notification bell, subscribe to our channel, and give us a thumbs up. And yeah, I'm hoping that hopefully sometime next week we could upload how we got our first shop. Some of you guys know us personally, some of you don't. If you guys don't, stay tuned. We do have 3 beauty salons, which is that's what we're like known for. So please make sure you guys stay tuned, that way we can let you guys know how we did it to buy all 3 salons. So I'm hoping we can do M Beauty Bar first, and then we could do M Nail Bar, and then we'll let you guys know how we got our soonest most recent location, which is M Beauty Bar Wasco, which we actually made it to Wasco right now already. So we'll keep you guys updated on that. So bye guys.
Bye.
Deuces.